Welcome back to the morning after on Sports Grid. It's time now to welcome in our very special guest and newest member to the FanDuel team, World Wide Wob. You know him as Rob Perez. I know you were up late last night, watched some of your show, so welcome into the early morning after.
Yes, late nights are an understatement in the NBA at least, because the games end at like midnight, and then you got to react to them, then you got to work, and then you got to prepare for the show. And before you know it, it's the morning after. Can't get any sleep around here, but I'm happy to get up for you guys.
I was going to say, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's the name of the show, and that's exactly the vibe that we're getting. And I think the morning after today continues to be one of those really positive mornings for the NBA. The bubble has been bubblicious, for lack of a better word. Luka Doncic's been incredible. Donovan Mitchell, very understated with his performance yesterday, overshadowed by Luka. Of all the craziness we saw over the weekend, Rob, what really stood out to you? I think Luka's the obvious answer, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, yeah. So first of all, the energy that's in this bubble, if I could somehow like bottle it and replicate it for future NBA seasons, that's going to be the NBA's biggest challenge here, because the basketball itself, the X's and O's have been just unprecedentedly good for regular season, let alone what we've seen in the playoffs. The problem is you can't keep these players away from their family and friends for 9 straight months. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make this work in the normal regular season. The question here is, what has surprised me the most? I mean, we have to speak about Luka last night, not just because we're surprised by how good he is. We knew about his talent. We've seen him do the most ridiculous things that other players just can't seem to do. But last night, he took steps towards proving that he is one of the best leaders in the NBA already in year 2. So he's surrounded by guys that have been around for 5-6 years, veterans that probably would want that last shot. They have a lot of good scorers. They have a historically efficient offense in Dallas. But just 48 hours ago, before he hits that shot, he could barely even walk. And the fact that he's out there without his wingman in Kristaps Porzingis, who I like to refer to as number 6 on Dallas, he's not out there with him. And that's a whole nother story in itself, guys. We'll get there, I promise, at some point. But Luka Doncic is out there putting the team on his back, just carrying them through every instance. And the fact that the team was able to rally around him, it almost surprised me that Luka Doncic has proved at this point in his career, in year 2, that he is able to get his teammates to buy in to that's the guy. Like LeBron James is the prototype example of it, because he came straight out of high school, the Kobe's of the world, the Kevin Garnett's that have made the franchise theirs, but never this quickly. Never this quickly. He could have easily just folded up the tent down 20 in the third quarter to the Clippers. This wasn't the Knicks. It was the Clippers. They were down 22. He could have just said, I'm going to keep my ankle fine. We'll go to game 5. And he went back out there and he brought him back from the depths of hell. Super impressive, guys.
Great. What surprised me about your show last night was I thought you would open up with Luka. You went on a rant about Denver. What was it about Denver that got you so fired up?
Okay, so I look like I just woke up because Denver is keeping me up all night. I have financial reasons for leading the show with Denver. Okay, Denver is the better team in the series of the third seed against the 6. They are driving me insane. I can't, I'm going to tomahawk my television through the window at some point here, because they have the talent. Okay, they can put up the points. Jamal Murray is putting up 45, 50 points like it's a walk in the park for him, but they just refuse to take Nikola Jokic out of the pick and roll. The Utah Jazz are walking down the court with a sign around their neck that says, we are going to run a high pick and roll with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Are you okay with this? And Denver says, okay, we know it's coming. Yeah, we're okay with it. And Jokic doesn't, all you have to do is just put the ball in the air and Rudy Gobert is going to dunk it. Then he starts backing off of him 8 feet off. He's just shooting free throws. All Donovan Mitchell did last night was shoot 50 points on free throws, whether he was actually shooting free throws or pulling up on the 2-point line. The fact that Mike Malone and this Denver team made it this far without recognizing something that has been getting completely exploited, driving me absolutely wild. And every Nuggets fan out there watching those games, these past couple games, just how do you not see what we're seeing? You don't even need to know basketball to see that this doesn't work. Can't stand it.
I'm going to stir the pot a little more with Denver, because I think but then we're going to get into some funner topics that I know they're going to get you much happier. Jamal Murray, how is he only averaging 18 points per game? This guy should be a 24, 25, 26 point per game scorer. And the Jazz offensive efficiency rating in this series, it's like I'm looking at a number on like The Price is Right. It just keeps going up and up and up. And I don't think Utah is going to change what they're going to do because it's really all they've got in their back pocket right now. And unless Denver adjusts, this series is going to be over quick. Let's get into some more exciting stuff. Our Thunder series bet is alive and well. And I think it's because of our guy, Lou Dort, who has emerged as the best on-ball defender in the NBA. This guy was undrafted, Rob. What's your take on the rest of this series? Huge game today. Thunder catching about 3-3 in the hook. I think they're a live dog if they got Dort on the floor guarding James Harden.
Okay, let me save you before somebody clips this and puts this on the internet. I'm not going to go as far and say that Lou Dort is the best on-ball defender in the NBA. I'll give that honor to Kawhi Leonard. But let me agree with you and say that Lou Dort's presence makes a difference. What makes Lou Dort great is that he's able to guard James Harden without fouling. All of us screaming, pulling our hair out, whether you bet against the Rockets or just watching the game in general. Why are you jumping with James Harden? He's gonna draw a foul 99 times out of 100 if you expose yourself in midair. Now, Lou Dort, the way that he's built, his foot speed, his quadriceps look like tree trunks, and James Harden is a massive built human being, okay, who has strength. That's the most underrated part of his game is his strength. Lou Dort is able to, one, stay on the ground, stay in front of James Harden without fouling, and just say, if you're going to make a 32-foot step back on me, go for it. Like, you're going to have to beat us doing just things that no human has done before you consistently over the course of a 48-minute game. Now, in regards to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the series itself, big W, game 3, keeps them in the series. They're the most clutch team in the league. So that means within 5 minutes, if the score is within 5 points, Oklahoma City is the number 1 team. Now, we're in a complete contrast of styles here because OKC likes to live in the mid-range. They want to make tough twos while the Rockets are out there bombing 75 threes a game with the small ball, analytics-loving style of play that Daryl Morey has instituted. It's going to come down to Steven Adams. I mean, the man has been a zombie, a walking corpse out there, and he should be dominating. He's got a guy on him that's 6-7 inches smaller. You should be out there putting up 20-20 every single game. And if Steven Adams is not going to put up 20-20 and has to sit, that was the whole point of betting OKC in the first place. You can't beat the Rockets in the way that they play 4 out of 7 times without one of your highest paid players performing at a level against a team in which there is no reason whatsoever that he shouldn't be at least getting 20 rebounds a game. And there's no other way to put it. He's the biggest, most dominant physical guy on the court. Prove it.
Good take. The Lakers and Trailblazers are also tonight. And yeah, I know Jared says he agrees with you there. We didn't get to talk too much about this, so I want to get your take on it. Lakers, Trailblazers tonight. Lakers were at -7.5. Now they're at -7. So taking the hook off. Who do you like in this matchup? Only about a couple minutes left.
All right. Well, thank you for the reminder because I like to just go off on tangents and rants here. So keep in mind that's our relationship is already growing two shows in. That's a big number. We love it. I mean, I can't sit here and recommend that you lay 7 points, but the Lakers have found the antidote to Damian Lillard. You're not going to stop him, but you can contain him. And you drown these Blazers big men in just size because you have JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. They have hockey shifts of big guy. You had Markieff Morris in there that you just can tire Yusuf Nurkic out. He was so tired that the camera was panning on the fast break. It was just leaving Yusuf Nurkic on the left side of the screen because he just got tired and wouldn't stop running. Then you got Hassan Whiteside, who's a Monopoly chance card in terms of if he's going to show up that night. But in this case, the Monopoly chance card is 25% pass go, 75% go to jail. Okay, that's just what Hassan Whiteside has been his entire career. You force those guys to play together. You force them into foul trouble, and you force Nurkic off the court either by fatigue or that said foul trouble. And the Lakers finally figured out that if we just put enough pressure on them on the glass, it doesn't matter how many threes Damian Lillard makes because layups are easier than 32-foot three-pointers.
Yeah, no, the Nurkic thing, I noticed that too the other night, Rob. He looked like he was just worn out. So I'll present this to you. We got about a minute left. I'll present this to you. You have to take one today. Lakers or Clippers? What's it going to be?
To win the series or to cover the spread?
To win it all. To go further. Oh. Which team goes further in the playoffs, Lakers or Clippers?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still on the Clippers. I know what happened last night. And this team is made for trench warfare. I mean, I'm going in the foxhole with 4 of those guys. Paul George has been a disappointment. What a luxury to have that you can go to Kawhi Leonard and Lou Williams if Paul George is having one of his 3 for 14 nights. They're saying his new nickname should be PG 13%. You know what? It's accurate. But when you have Lou Williams out there who's dropping 35 like it's absolutely nothing, and you have the best player, you have the finals MVP to go to, there's absolutely no reason. They're going to win the series. They are made for playoff basketball, and you simply can't score and beat Kawhi Leonard 4 out of 7 times. You could beat them 2 or 3 possibly, but they just have all the makings of a championship contender.
Clippers 19-5 ATS off a loss. That's the trend we are targeting for tomorrow night. So I agree with you. I think the Clippers tomorrow night's the play.
Well, it sure sounds easy, doesn't it, Jared? Like when you sit here and we say,
it sounds so easy, right?
Yeah, we've convinced everyone at this point. But is Luka going to be able to pull that off with the ankle? Is number 6 on Dallas? Is his knee okay? This is why it's a 7-game series and it's not March Madness. There is no parity. The best team wins 7-game series, and that team is the Clippers.
We'll get into the KP stuff next week.
In the NBA. World Wide Wob, Rob Perez. Catch him on Late Night with Wob on FanDuel. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.